bit of a unique video. I had already made a trading review video earlier today. Had one put on SPY or QQQ. As you can see, that was not my last trade of the day. I continued to watch the market after my first trade, which was right here for 1 minute, and watched the market for about 16 minutes, as you can see. And going between SPY and QQQ, what I noticed was that QQQ typically, when the market is red, of course, just due to the makeup of QQQ, tends to be lower, down lower than SPY, or in some cases it's when there's green days up higher than SPY, is what I've personally noticed. But I noticed that there was a bit of a divergence as far as QQQ was really down, meaning that I saw more potential for SPY to go down, and pretty much just watching the trend. Most of my trades were on SPY, which seems to be a little bit less volatile. I typically have better luck as far as profit loss on SPY. So here are some of my positions, mainly watching 1 minute, 5 minute chart, mainly looking at volume, looking at tops and bottoms, trend a little bit, and RSI has pretty much told me that on days like this, or at least in these current market conditions, that for the most part, being closer to oversold is normal. Looking at these key levels was pretty big for me as well. Trying to kind of scope out where exactly the bottom is going to be. 590 did not quite get there, but definitely makes sense. Or I guess it went past. But I'm looking at this time frame before 10:30. But essentially, the first trade I took on SPY was a put. Of course, all of my trades are puts, which resulted in a 33% profit for me from 6 trades. So 12 transactions in total, but that means 6 trades. Mostly one contract, sometimes 2. Essentially caught the top here. Already had a pretty large move down, and we recovered just a tiny bit, of course, as to be expected. Came up and 3 green candlesticks on what looked like a red trend, just looking for a retest. Didn't retest all that much, and approaching kind of that overbought level, which, like I said, this market seems to want to stay closer to oversold. So I got in a short position right around the top here, and also noticed that, as you can see, we have all wicks on top, meaning that the buyers were not very strong, and decreasing volume, of course, on the buy side. So this was a very small position. Again, I wasn't planning on going back and trading, saw opportunity. All of a sudden, I was just feeling very comfortable. And moving forward to my next trade, again watching the top come down. Here's where I saw some resistance right at about this 593.95, close to 594. Failed to move to 594 above. Found some resistance, you can see here, and then tried to move back up, couldn't do it. Tried to move back up again, did not happen. So I got in pretty much right here, and just was being cautious if it was to pop up. But overall, it just seemed to be like it was going to be another day where we're just going to see continuous drop and then a recovery at some point, but determining at which point that is a bit difficult. Had negative news coming out. I don't know exactly what time the news was, because I was watching just to confirm there's not going to be any big reversal, but negative news, so further pushing things down. I got out of this one. You see kind of at this little bottom here, really just once I seeing this red here, and then once I saw it start to come back up, that's when I just as it was forming that green candlestick. Of course, I'm trading the 1 minute, so I'm watching it pretty closely, and got out of that position for a good profit. Kind of right at this bottom here, and next trade right here. Really same type of thing as I've been doing. Wouldn't really call this much of a bounce, but at least something, not just straight down. And once I saw it fail to come back up here, I think this is the around 593. Yep. Failed to move up to 593. As you can see, that later became important. But moved down to this level that I was looking for. I believe this is a monthly level. Sold that one a little bit early. Didn't really have it to the bottom. I was expecting more of a smaller move down and then a tiny bounce back up, but it just went right through to another level that I had already marked out there. All of these trades were winners, profit. They weren't super heavy, or I wasn't trying to maximize them too much necessarily, just where I was comfortable taking profit at. 33% is pretty good, considering that I was down about 85% on Friday. Next one didn't quite follow the pattern I was finding myself on, not quite the same. Still was able to take profit. Came up. Did have a little bit of concern when it did pass through here, this kind of this level, but still could not even come close to the 594, and did not close at or above the 593.5, kind of that psych level. See, we have a pretty clear resistance here. Just could not move up. You can see all these wicks going up, and then the sellers winning that, and just saw this pretty large move down after that. Really, after 10:30, we came back up. And then right at about 11 is when we saw the move back down. Not as low as 10:30, but also we're overbought here, so really that's why I kind of held on to that and anticipating again a move down. So really, pretty much watched it move down as much as it moved up, and a little past that. So right about here when I bought it, about 10:49. So actually about up here, is somewhere in here is where I got filled, and I was able to sell close to the bottom of this candlestick, but there's a lot more potential that I missed on that one. Really just scalping in and out. I think I had another trade on QQQ that was pretty small. So I had my 2 trades on QQQ. This one, like I said, relatively small, just a pop up here, and then caught part of the move down. Wasn't too much significance to the level, I'll be honest. More of a psych level at that 511. Look for it to move down to the 511. And of course my first trade that I took. So overall, typically probably not a good idea to kind of go into scalping like that when I typically haven't been taking that many trades in a day. But as you can see, I was able to catch some pretty good movements, to the point where it wasn't just guessing. I did have indicators kind of helping me out, and really wasn't taking on too much risk either. I didn't see any opportunity for major reversal. But of course, getting this many trades in a row correct has to mean something. It's hard to get lucky that much, of course. We've seen the same thing happening the past couple days. These very large sell-offs, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just have to adapt to what the market's doing. And another big movement, less important, but is my get out of there. Now you can actually see the actual numbers. This is paper money, of course, as you can see, but I did want to place this trade, just was not comfortable risking that amount at the moment. So I did a paper trade. I guess you'd call it some forward testing. So did 10 contracts at 6 days till expiration on QQQ. Looking for that 500 level. I think that's a very big level that it's moving towards. And I am up just a little over 14,000. And mind you, the cost of those were $840. So just today went up around 700. I remember earlier today, just because I checked it, it was up over $1,000.